questions?
How are you doing today?
Mike, there's some continuity at the linebacker position with two starters coming back, and both showed last year that they could be kind of three down linebackers, defend the pass and the run. How invaluable is that to have two linebackers that you're comfortable with on the field in all the situations?
Really, you can add another guy in there, Luke. You got three guys that have played, understand the game, and been productive for us. So it's a pleasure for me being able to come into a room where have guys that have done the job, understand how to do it. Now we can just work on getting better.
One of those guys, Robert Spillane, he's been in the league for a while, been a productive player, but it's like everything really sunk in last year. He had a huge year. What's the key for a guy like that to maintaining it kind of after a breakout season?
I think normally, once you get into year 3 or 4, you kind of understand the game. But just going back to Robert, just watching him from afar, and I told him when I first met him, like there was a clip that I saw when I was coaching in Tampa, and it was against Derrick Henry, and it made me know who your name. And I've been watching him ever since, and he's continued to make plays and play the game the right way. So he's a guy that paid his dues and is paying off for him.
What was the clip? Just
You know the clip?
oh, that's stop at the goal line.
Yeah, that's the big one there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of been some of your early impressions of Tommy Eichenberg, the rookie?
Tommy, he's a football guy. He's a guy that being from Ohio, understands what football means, and he's a tough, hard-nosed, old-school linebacker. He has his pen out, taking notes. He's really diligent and trying to learn the game, and so far he's done a real good job, and we're just ready for him to keep progressing.
Nowadays most teams, nickel is kind of their basis, so it's only two linebackers on the field most of the time. So it's, for linebackers, the special team really it's kind of becoming even more important as a way to have on the team. Have you helped out at all with helping teach kind of kickoff rules and things of that nature, or have you kind of been set?
Tom does a great job with special teams. Now, special teams is dear to my heart because I was a special teams player for a while, special teams captain, so I understand the value of it, and I might pull a guy to a side here and there, but Tom does such a good job. And just talking about the new kickoff rule, I think it's going to give linebackers per se more opportunity to make the team because you're going to need guys to block and tackle in ways that in the past you haven't needed that. And so everybody's excited about it, everybody's talking about it, and we'll have our plan and be ready to go execute it.
I want to take you back a little bit of a ways, but your rookie year you played for Bill Belichick and Nick Saban with the Cleveland Browns. Could you see kind of what was on the horizon for those two coaches? And looking back, did that kind of shape you in any way in terms of your own pursuit of being a coach?
Honestly, no. Looking back to those days, I was a really, really young guy, and my head was spinning that first year, and I really couldn't understand the knowledge that was before me. But now that I look back, could I tell that it was going to happen? No, I couldn't tell it was going to happen because I was just trying to get through those 8 weeks of training camp. But those guys have had great success, and did it get me into coaching? Not really. I think my path was later on. Coach Reed asked me if once I was finished playing, would I want to coach? And I was like, no, Coach, y'all can have that. But then it ended up going home and retired for about 5 years. Decided to get back into it and did the minority internship program, and I'm here today. I've loved it, and just continue to enjoy spilling my knowledge onto the younger generations.
Coach, when you look at Antonio's vision for the team, like yourself, he has a lot of former players on the staff, who are coaching. How important do you believe is it for these players to, kind of have position coaches who have been in the same position as them?
I think it's important because I feel that I can reach guys. I've sat in those seats, I understand what they're going to go through, and whether it's a football lesson or a life lesson, I think I'm here and AP's here, and we're able to touch the guys where they're at, and other people aren't able to do that. So I think it's a big plus, and just being here for the short time so far, being able to see the buy-in of the guys, everybody's excited about it. And you can talk about the media and talk about their pubbiness, but when you sit in those chairs, like I have the past few months, you really feel it. And so it's great to see. Great to be here because you know that he's genuine. And when, like as a player, you want somebody that trusts you, believes in you, and you'll run through a brick wall for him. And he has that. And that's what we're building here.
Coach, how much different do you think it is playing the linebacker position now in 2024 versus when you were playing in the 90s and the early 2000s?
I think it's more of a east-west game. It's not as much downhill runs anymore. It's get on the edge, and the pass game is more important. Back in the day, you had to stop the run and you had to, ready to take on ISOs and leads, but teams don't do that anymore. They run sideways and they missile motion and jet motion and try to get on your edges. So the game in the linebacker spot has kind of changed. So you need more athletic guys that can cover and play in space. So that's what we're looking for. We need guys that are smart, able to understand adjustments, and able to play in space.
Do you feel like Robert is kind of like he could have played in your era, but he's found his way to excel in the areas you're talking about? You have to be good at in today's game.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he's a guy that him and Tommy both, and Luke. You can throw that Luke in there also. Those are old school linebacker guys that are in a new school age, and they're able to adjust and be able to play the pass game that we need, and also be physical when it's time to be physical. So we're excited about the guys, and the game has changed, but football's still football. Still got to tackle the guy with the ball. He might be a little bit smaller, might be going to the sideline and not going straight ahead at you, but the game is still the game.
Just curious what your impressions have been of Amari Burney. He got on the field a little bit last year, played pretty well. His progress and what your impressions are.
He's a guy that, again, we're talking about the new school game, and he's a guy that's good in coverage. He's making plays. He's learning. Again, as a young guy, when you come into the league, it's important to get a good understanding of what the game really entails. And he's studying. He's understanding what we're asking of him and what the job is for him to be able to go out there and execute. So he's progressing, and we just want guys to continue to work every day to get 1% better. Once you get that 1% better, then as a team, we'll be heading in the right direction.
You talk about a lot of the changes that have occurred to the position and the way offenses are different now. How much does all the RPO action that's done now affect the linebacker position, make it more difficult? You're just trying to read so many different things with the offenses do.
You could now. We're actually the guys that they're trying to attack. We're the read, and we have to be able to understand that when you're the read, you have to try not to show your hand. And as a linebacker, you understand that run game is important, pass game is important. You're involved in both, so you have to make sure you're handling the front end and then also being able to handle the back end. But as a linebacker, like I tell the guys all the time, we're going to ask a lot of you because you do control the front and handle the back end. So you're involved with both everybody on the field. So when you're involved with everybody, a lot of things are going to be thrust upon your shoulders. So you just got to have broad shoulders, ready to stand up and take that responsibility.
How do your duties kind of break down? You're kind of coordinating the run game defensively, and like every play has both front and pass, obviously, to it. So how does that kind of break down with your responsibility?
It's really the way PG puts it together. We're all working together. Like I have this title, whatever the title is, whatever I need to do to help him out in his job, I'm ready to do that, and other coaches are doing the same thing. So whatever I'm asked to do, I'm ready to do it. The experience is there. I've been through football for a long time, understand it from different angles. So it's just whatever I'm needed to do, I'm here ready to do it and excited about it.
I know Christian Wilkins isn't in your room specifically, but how much does he help what you guys are trying to do when he occupies so much of the offensive line position?
He had a play the other day where he might need to be in my room. He's a guy that he's so athletic and he plays with so much passion. He's like a linebacker in so many ways, and he's active. He's has a great motor. So he's a guy that's a a great addition to our team, and we're just excited to have him here.
Christian's certainly one of them, but you have a lot of big names, first-round picks on that defensive line. But by the end of the year, Malcolm Kuntz was playing as well as any of them last year. What have you seen out of him in your short time here?
I see growth in the short time. He's, had a great year last year and came back and he's working hard, and you can see the improvement. Robbie's doing a good job of asking him to tweak his techniques, enhance them, get them down, and he's doing it. He's out there working every day, and you can see the growth, and expecting big things from him.
How crazy is that your niece works right across the building here and is doing a great job with the Aces, obviously, as the team president?
It's really special for me to be able to come to a situation where the head coach is a truly football guy, and the owner is a truly sports person, and he's able to invest in the Aces and also in the Raiders, and me being able to have my niece next door, it's special because we were outside my house back in the days. We were, playing basketball, playing football, so the competitiveness was built between us. So we understand. She's one up on me now, and I told her, you have 2 rings, I only have 1, so I'm up next, I'm chasing you. So that's the competitiveness about us, and she's doing a great job over there. And you guys, if you get to know me, I'm a real big women's basketball fan. I love the game, I love what they're doing, and excited to be here.
Since you mentioned that 1 ring, just a few years ago, what was that experience like looking back, and how much does it drive you going forward to get back to that level?
If you talk to any coach, that's the driving force to get back to it. Like the Super Bowl, winning it, it's a feeling that everyone chases, and once you get a taste of it, it just feels that hunger even more. And so I'm on the hunt, trying to get back to it. We're on a hunt, trying to get back to it, but we understand that there's work in progress. We're out here in OTAs, have mini camp and training camp. We just understand we're gonna go through our process, trust the process, and then from there, however it shakes out, it shakes out.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Good.